especially in Singapore.
Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting set for today, April the 12th, 2016. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Cantu, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Father God, thank you, Dave. Thank you again for another day that you've given us. Thank you for the opportunity to come to serve, Lord. I continue to ask for wisdom for these elected officials that you've appointed, Lord. Continue to provide myself wisdom, my staff, and all the leaders of the county, that we may do what is best interest of Hidalgo County. I ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Under open forum, did anybody sign up?
No, sir.
Our consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir. None whatsoever.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
On item 5, just to brief the board, we had a presentation made to the City of McAllen yesterday regarding some of our drainage projects, the bond projects that are going on, and they also inquired about the Ravenville Drain, which is a bond project, just the status of it, gave them a briefing on that, on our J09 as well, up on the north side, that eventually will impact them and their growth going north. By the Tres Lagos development, we're working with that development, or that developer on our extension of our J08 drain. The main topic of discussion also yesterday was the airport expansion, or our Mission Inlet project that we currently have ongoing under design, and working with them on adjusting our pilot channel as much as possible to accommodate possible future expansion by the city of their airport. So Commissioner Cantu was present at the meeting. I think it was a good presentation as far as information for them. And we'll be working with them on any feedback that they may have on all the projects that we're doing. So the mayor and the elected officials, commissioners were there at the meeting. So aside from that, I don't have anything else, Judge, today.
What about the closed session?
Closed session. Actually, we're probably going to push that till next week, sir. I have a meeting tomorrow with legal counsel on that issue, and we won't be ready for today, but we'll be ready next week to brief the board and have the counsel there.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
We will be convening a regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court set for today, April the 12th, 2016. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, bless us and our leaders as we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Please give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect us all today and in the years to come. Help us to all work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what is best for Hidalgo County and its residents. We ask this in your name, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Our consent agenda, are there any concerns?
Yes, Judge. Can you take consent agenda item 10D?
D as in David?
D, yes.
Without 10D.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department. 10D is the approval, D, yes, is for the approval of 60-day period, grace period extension on Cleveland asphalt products. The concern is the Form HB 1295. There is attached the form letter we have sent the vendor to get it in with notice that we cannot fully execute the extension without receipt of the $12.95, and I recommend moving forward to approve, subject to that compliance.
Approval, subject to.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, item number 5A.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Michael Leo, County Judge's Office. What are we going to read? Item 5A is the approval of proclamation declaring April 10th through April 16th, 2016 as Volunteer South Texas Week in Hidalgo County. With us, we have representatives from the United Way, to talk just a little bit about what's going on this week. You want to read the resolution?
Item 5. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Julia Benitez Sullivan, Public Affairs Director. This is a proclamation declaring April 10th through the 16th, 2016 as Volunteer South Texas Week. Whereas over the past several years, the citizens of Hidalgo County and its many individual communities have joined together with area nonprofit agencies, hospitals, and governmental institutions to meet overwhelming humanitarian needs that have arisen due to the surge of Central American immigrants arriving in South Texas. And whereas many of these volunteers and other community and governmental groups across Hidalgo County regularly work together to deal with devastating windstorms, flooding, and other natural disasters that affect our South Texas region. And whereas Hidalgo County reached an important milestone with the establishment of a South Texas-wide volunteer program called Volunteer South Texas, which was launched by United Way of South Texas. And whereas Volunteer South Texas is a free internet platform that connects thousands of individuals and groups to meaningful service projects with over 21,000 hits to the website since its launch last fall, and almost 100 nonprofits and governmental institutions having already signed up and begun posting needs for volunteers. And whereas Hidalgo County commends volunteerism and encourages residents to volunteer during the week of April 10th through April 16th by signing up for service projects on Volunteer South Texas, and to serve in area nonprofits on a regular basis going forward. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby proclaims the week of April 10th through the April 16th as Volunteer South Texas Week 2016. We encourage everyone to celebrate volunteers and volunteerism in South Texas, dated this 12th day of April 2016.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And I'd like to reintroduce Jeanette Alhines, the program coordinator for, volunteer program coordinator for South Texas, Volunteer South Texas, and also a board member of United Way. And she'll introduce her other representatives.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Judge and County Commissioners. We are honored that you would allow us to be a part of your commission meeting today and that you would issue this proclamation. We are thrilled at United Way of South Texas to be able to launch this free tool to help our community members, to help our nonprofit agencies to be able to connect. In fact, it's so easy now that you do it on your smartphone. You don't even have to call and wait in line to get the right person to connect your kids with community service opportunities for their college applications. If your kids are in Boy Scouts, if you're a banker and need to get your hours for your employment, it can all be done on your smartphone or through the website. So we are thrilled to be able to offer this service, and we appreciate the visibility that you're giving to this platform by allowing this proclamation. Today we have several of our representatives for the program. The first one I'd like to introduce is Thelma Garza, the president of United Way, and then we also have a representative from Salvation Army who I believe has a couple of words to say. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for having us. We're grateful to United Way of South Texas for allowing us the opportunity to be part of the Volunteer South Texas online platform. Without volunteers, it would be very difficult for us to continue servicing the community at the level we do. Thankfully, we have had a great response to our needs posted online via Volunteer South Texas. Some examples of those are feed the hungry, sort donated goods, clean and tidy the family store. We're happy to share that 46 volunteers have signed up to the Volunteer this week. 20 of those 47 volunteers have already completed 63 hours of service to our agency. Those volunteers helped to paint our building this Sunday. Also, we happen to be hosting our open-air block party, a public and free event for families on the last day of Volunteer South Texas Week, which is April 16th. We're grateful to volunteers to have already signed up to help feed dinner from our canteen that day. At the end of this week, we anticipate having had a total of 123 service hours contributed from Volunteer South Texas volunteers. So again, we're grateful to United Way of South Texas and to Jeanette for helping connect volunteers to our agency. We're excited to meet more volunteers come through our doors for the future through this online platform. So thank you so much on behalf of Salvation Army.
Would you like to take a photo? Yes. Okay, here you go. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're fine.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. And a few more. Thank you.
Ma'am, would you be here?
Mayor, we just started the meeting. Martin, I could call you back. Okay, no problem. Get that for you. Our next item number 5B.
Good morning again. Item number 5B is a proclamation declaring April 23rd as Walk and Rolla Celebration Day. I'd like to welcome Andrew A. Cannon and Deborah Franco, please, to the podium. Come on up. Hi. If you could stand over here so you can be on camera. Stand over here, please. Thank you so much.
You love the camera. You love the
Whereas the
spotlight.
Hidalgo County Metropolitan Planning Organization, HCMPO, in partnership with local governments and community organizations, will host the 6th annual Walk and Rolla event, encouraging alternative modes of transportation such as walking, bicycling, carpooling, and public transit in order to promote public health, support the economy, and improve quality of life of our neighborhoods, citizens, and region. And whereas making investments in walking, bicycling, and public transit infrastructure can connect people to their jobs, shopping, and living, thus creating clean and convenient alternatives to driving. Studies have shown that walking or bicycling 30 to 60 minutes a day can result in weight loss and greatly reduces the risk of developing heart disease, cancer, stroke, and diabetes. The event will be held on Saturday, April 23, 2016, at the Edinburgh City Hall courtyard from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and will include bike rides, rodeo for kids, a 5K run and community walk, and mutt strut. There will also be informational booths and exhibits to educate citizens about alternative transportation options that are available to them. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby declares April 23, 2016 as Walk and Rolla Celebration Day, encouraging all citizens to attend the event and improve the quality of their lives, livability, and sustainability of our communities, dated this 12th day of April 2016.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Ms. Franco is president, co-founder of the South Texas Juvenile Diabetes Association, and she's here with Mr. Cannon to say a few words before the photo.
Good morning. Thank you so much. We just want to thank you for allowing this event to be such a launching point, but also a point where families can take advantage of the fact that if we don't do something different, if we don't, as a community, take a stand against the obesity rates and the diabetes that we're all facing, then we're not going to see any changes. So we embrace Walk and Rolla. We have for the last few years, and we thank the HCMPO and Mr. Cannon for choosing the South Texas Juvenile Diabetes Association in this event to highlight that our children are our future, and we need to make sure that they're healthy so that they can do all the wonderful things that we need them to so that they can one day stand in our place, correct? And also we want to honor the HCMPO for taking advantage of the fact that our families and the Rio Grande Valley needs an outlet for these things, and making ways for sidewalks and bicycle trails and other opportunities within communities so that we can get out and get active and reduce the rates of diabetes and obesity in our area. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. I just want to be sure that I mention also a special thanks to Richard Hinojosa over at the City of Edinburgh and his staff. We're doing this in conjunction with the City of Edinburgh's Cool City events that they have there, so I want to be certain that I mention that. We couldn't do this on our own without a partnership like that, and the City of Edinburgh's been our partner on Walk and Rolla for the last 6 years. So Ponciano, all of his people over there, Tom Reyna, we really appreciate everything they're doing to go the extra mile to make this successful. It's going to be a great event. Come out. It's not just us. They have a whole little marketplace taking place, and I think there's several hundred pieces of artwork to look at that the children, a bunch of kids, have put together and done. So I think it's going to be a great day. Hopefully the weather's going to be really good, and the courtyard is a great setting for this event over there. So I just want to be sure to thank them as well, and thank you, gentlemen, for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Item 6 under the Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm Captain Raul Cantu on behalf of our Hidalgo County Sheriff, Guerra. On item 6A1, authorization approval of the local administrative agreement for the South Texas Anti-Gang Center between McAllen Police Department, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, and Texas Department of Public Safety.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
A2, authorization for county judge as authorized official, county sheriff, and county district attorney to sign such agreement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, Operation Stone Garden. 1, authorization approved to accept a second extension for the 2014 Operation Stone Garden grant. New termination date is June 30th of this year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B2, authorization approved for county judge as authorized official to sign required documents.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
C1, approval of memorandum of understanding for shooting range, use training between the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Homeland Security investigations.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C2, authorization for county judge as authorized official and county sheriff to sign the document.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Item 7, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 7A is discussion, consideration, and action on the Hidalgo County Affiliates Department Retirement Plan Adoption, addendum with authority to submit to Internal Revenue Service and authorized county judge to sign related documents. Judge, Commissioners, this is the affiliated department's retirement plan for CSA, Head Start, and Urban County. This is an annual event, and this is required. this is required on our part for submittal to the Internal Revenue Service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Balde, did you ever, I know we talked about it sometime back, about inviting a representative of the organization that is holding our retirement money to come and make a report.
Yes, you're talking about TCDRS, or you're talking about the affiliated plant?
I'm talking about the one that's
Judge.
in charge of our retirement.
Yeah, I spoke to Norma Garcia, our county treasurer, and there was a date. I'll get back with her, but they had a specific date for them to come down.
Yes, it's in May. They're coming down in May.
Some of the plans that are statewide are having some issues, and I would just want to make sure that we talk to them about our plan.
Right.
If anybody's got any answers, I mean, it'd be Mingo. He'd call them everything.
No, Judge, Commissioners, no. They are coming down in May, and the Treasurer's Office is coordinating that meeting for May.
And it is very secure. We've checked on it, but they'll come and explain it. But I know there's been a history of underfunding it with City of Houston and other cities. We've never underfunded it.
Right.
We do what they ask us.
Right.
So.
Exactly. We're diligent with respect to what we do every year. We do attend our annual meeting with them up in Austin, and no, we're real diligent with respect to our fund.
Very good.
But they will explain. And Judge Commissioner, I want to make one clarification. I said this is an annual event with this affiliated retirement plan. I misspoke. It's every 6 years. Every 6 years. So item B is approval of process of following invoices as a claim with authority for county treasurer to issue check after auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor. It's for DM Coffee Company, Inc. The invoice is dated April 7th of this year, number 04076, number 040716 CZDEL, in the amount of $204.97. This was for a truancy committee meeting that was held on April 7th of this year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, I'm going to skip item C for 1 second while I finish up item D and E. Item D, environmental compliance. I'm requesting authorization for our county judge to sign notice of intent and core data form for Precinct 2 Veterans Boulevard's Citizens Collection Station. This is required under Chapter 30 of the Local Texas Administrative Code, Subchapter 330.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement check from National Liability and Fire Insurance Company in the amount of $352.63. This will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, I'm going to ask Ms. Salazar to take on that item. We have communicated with the auditor's office and Ms. Salazar.
We're going to be requesting some information, which I think will be enough for me to be able to accept a requisition and produce a PO and thus guarantee her reimbursement.
So at this time, I don't think there's any action to be taken at this time.
No, I would recommend no action, and then it won't have to come back to court if I find sufficient information, and it's within a very short period of time that this occurred, so I think we can still be able to accept a requisition PO, and then payment will be processed.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Salazar.
Yes, sir.
Item 8, Judge, is under our HR, Mr. Seguero.
Morning, Judge Commissioner. Raul Seguero, Executive
Morning,
Office / HR. Item 8A is for Precinct 2 Parks. Precinct 2 Parks is a general fund department, so we need item 1 approved. This is requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And this is a request from the precinct to create 6 positions, temporary positions for the Las Milpas pool. The pool opens during the summer for the surrounding areas, and these are temporary jobs. So it reads approval to create the following part-time temporary positions not to exceed 10 weeks, effective May 30th, 2016 through August 1. And it's 6 positions as listed: a head lifeguard at $15 an hour, 3 lifeguards, and 2 attendants. The lifeguards have to be certified, so we're starting the process early so we can open the pool on time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer for that funding.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 4 is approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with the court action.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Just have one quick item, sir, under Health and Human Services. Item 9A is approval of the 2016 unappropriation of funds in the amount of $257,000. Last week I came to you in regards to 1115 waiver, where we did the local preferred provider fund of $8.2 million. There was, again, an error made by the state, and they came in and said that it would be Stark County was going to contribute a larger amount. So actually, we ended up giving less than what I got permission for. So the auditor's office asked us to put this at court, just that it's $257,000 less than what I got permission in court. So,
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Item 10, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. We have one item on the agenda, and it is item 10A, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for construction management services.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10A2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of at least 3 construction management service firms from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by Hidalgo County Precinct 1, Hidalgo County Urban County Program, and the Purchasing Department in connection with and funded through the Hidalgo County Urban County General Land Office contract for the Delta Area Connector East Lateral Project Phases 1, 2, and 3. The 3 firms that were evaluated were Lefevre Engineering Management and Consulting, LLC, with a grade of 97.33, SAM Engineering and Surveying with a grade of 86.67, and Cortran Engineering, PLCC, with a grade of 86.33. Would you like to rank them from that order?
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
A3, I'm sorry, is the authority to negotiate a construction management service contract with the number 1 ranked firm of Lefevre Engineering and Management Consultant, LLC, for the provision of construction management services for the Precinct 1 Delta Area Connector East Lateral.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our Elections Office, number 11.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. We have quite a few items on the agenda, and I would like to start off with item A, where I introduce Ms. Hilda Salinas. If she could please come up here. I would like for the court to recognize Ms. Salinas. She is the new position that the court so graciously allowed me to create, which is the elections analyst. And I would just like to say thank you. She hit the ground running, rolled up her sleeves, and has been doing an incredible job. So I would like to recognize her. And Hilda, if you'd like to just say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Huh? Good morning, everyone. Yes, I am very excited. I've already been working on several projects already. Social media is something that Ms. Ramon felt that was very much needed. So just putting everything that the elections department does, putting it out there, that way everybody can know. I'm excited to learn everything there is to learn about elections, and just getting ready to get started on everything else. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. If I may take item B out of order, and we can come back to that one because I know there's going to be a discussion. We can then go to item C, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Schedules. Okay, they just passed them out. This is discussion, consideration, and approval of the May 24th, 2016 primary runoff election early voting poll locations. And as you will see, they are exactly alike except for the addition of STC Cooper Center, which is at STC. And we are asking this court to consider making STC Pecan Campus a permanent early voting site. So from 25, then it would increase to 26. The 25 are already voted, and as far as the primary, and it would include the runoff. So the only item would be to now vote on adding the Cooper Center at STC.
That's your recommendation, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you so very much.
Do we have Pan Am as a permanent location?
I'm sorry, sir?
Do we have a polling location at Pan Am?
Yes,
Or
sir.
at
Yes, sir.
UTRGV?
That is a permanent site already. You can see on Edinburgh, up above, second row,
Oh, yes,
first
I
one,
see it. I see it.
UTRGV. Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
And then the next item is discussion and approval, item D. Approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and the City of La Villa for their election to be held on May 7th, 2016.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and the City of Hidalgo for their election to be held on May 7th, 2016.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F, approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and the Agua Special Utility District for their election to be held on May 7th, 2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G, approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and Progreso Independent School District for their election to be held on May 7th, 2016.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item H, approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and Donna Independent School District for their election to be held on May 7th, 2016.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item I, approval of full contract for election services between Hidalgo County and the City of Mission for their election to be held on May 7th, 2016.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item, we'll go back to item B. And that is the approval to increase the wage rate for the primary election day poll workers. I do believe that there needs to be a discussion because it would be a supplement to what they already get reimbursed, which is $8 across the board for all their judges, their alternate judges, and their clerks. And so is there a discussion, Mr. Crane? I know that
That's what the state paid.
$8 reimbursement straight across for their workers for election day.
And we agreed when we had that meeting, that emergency meeting, that we would be increasing it at least up to what we're paying our election
12
workers.
and 10.
Yes, sir. And I do have that agenda item from 2014. I don't know who can pass it out.
And for the record, we have an email that was sent to us by the lawyer. First of all, I called our Secretary of State, Mr. Carlos Cascos, whom is the chief officer involved in conducting and administering elections in the state of Texas, who talked to who referred me to Mr. Keith Grisham, who is as his chief counsel on elections, and Mr. Grisham sent us an email saying that legally there was no authority for the county to do it, but that legally we would be able to do it.
In other words, it was up to us.
It was up to us.
Judge, Commissioners, I believe I also sent you a correspondence yesterday, also stating that there is no direct legal express statutory authority. There may be implied, underscore the word may. However, it's our recommendation that you seek an Attorney General's opinion to confirm that prior to taking action on this.
The concern that I have with doing it, Dave, is that the length of time it's going to take. We've got an election coming up that we have to get ready for. We have to start hiring these individuals. And we know that other counties are doing it. And we know that the chief election officer's general counsel has told us we could do it. I'm not sure if it makes any practical sense to have to request a formal opinion.
Do we have a cost?
Yes, sir.
This doesn't tell us. No.
Do you want the overall cost?
For me.
Just for me, yeah.
An estimated $30,415.
And that is for what?
That is at the judges at $12 and the clerks and alternates at $10.10, and then plus the training.
That would be the county.
30,415. That's correct. Estimated.
Commissioners, we would have to bring back a funding item for that from next Commissioners Court in case the court does want to approve that.
We're
We will
talking
bring that
about
back
the
next week.
primary runoff. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I would like to clarify that this would be a supplement to what the state already pays, as this is a party cost. The Democratic and Republican parties run Election Day. They get reimbursement from the state as $8 an hour per hour for each employee they hire. These are not employees of Hidalgo County, as each party is responsible to pay them. So it would be a supplement to what they already receive, to then put them at the same level that Hidalgo County employees, which do get hired by the county to run early voting, receive.
And if you include both parties in there, right?
It would have to be both parties, yes, sir.
Do you need action on this?
I believe we do.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Then we will be back with.
I got another question.
Yes, sir.
From what I understand, it was done one time before, right?
While I have been here, no,
not
sir.
that way you've been here before.
I have not found anything. We've been researching an agenda item. If you know of a date, that would help us. That way we can go ahead and zero in, and I will research that. And we'll call your office and get that from you so that we can research it and bring it back as well. Okay?
Judge, Commissioners, Ms. Yvonne, before
Yes,
you step up, so the action was for $12 for both?
No, $12, $10 plus training, whatever.
And delivery.
Something.
Okay.
And it would be the supplements, because they receive $15 reimbursement, while we, the county, pay our judges $25 for delivery. So there would be the supplement to meet them at the same standard as ours.
Okay, thank you.
All right, item number 12, our planning department.
Judge, let's go on to item 13. Let me, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, TJ. My apologies. I haven't gotten the new prescription yet, so. All right. Sorry about that.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Good morning.
First item is we're going to have to rescind an item that we approved. It's a request to approval to rescind action item number 534-563A that was approved on February 23rd.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next item is to accept a check 1386 from developer Jack McClellan in the amount of $84,663.
Move for approval.
Second.
And 47 cents.
And 47 cents, yes, sir.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is a request to accept check 11881 in the amount of $26,875.20.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Next item are reimbursements of financial guarantees. 4A is for $9,000. 4B is for $4,500. 4C is for $6,000. 4D is for $13,750. And E is for $1,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is to request a reimbursement to Gary Frisbee in the amount of $72,794.25.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 13.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 13A, requesting authorization for appraisal surveys, meets and bounds for entitlements and title policy for the North Ware Road Recreation Project.
Move for approval.
Second, but with some comments, Judge. We had a nonprofit come by our office 2 weeks ago. Apparently, the ECISD numbers are showing that there's 70% of the children in that area at risk. A lot of them aren't going to school, so we're partnering with them to take 4 lots that are central to Colonia, working with that nonprofit group to develop a park and a building jointly where it's not 100% cost on the county, to provide tutorial services and at-risk programs in that area. Local developer Mike Rhodes and some others are going to contribute and help in the effort. But it's a great project up on the northwest quadrant, which joins Precinct 3 and Precinct 4.
Also approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 14, budget.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 14A is discussion, consideration, and approval to submit the following FEMA PWs related to the May-June disaster event 4223 with authority for the county judge to sign the required documents. And this PW 01310 and 01361.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14A2 is discussion, consideration, and acceptance of Texas Division of Emergency Management Public Assistance Sub-Grant Award, including all grant terms and conditions, with authority for the county judge to sign all required documents for the FEMA Public Assistance Grants 4223, severe storms, tornadoes, straight line winds, and flooding for the FEMA project numbers as listed on the agenda.
Judge, if I may comment on this, these are all the public assistance dollars we received from FEMA. Total is about $1.4 million. In the prior item, we've already been recovering and we've been building. Those are the two listed above, up to about $500,000. We already got them finished, completed, billing back to FEMA. So the account that the court had set before on a revolving door on FEMA, we are building the projects. We are slated to finish before the year's out. So we'll be at full recovery by end of year. Also, the Workforce Solutions, we do have we received another grant where I think there's several Workforce Solutions amongst the precincts. We have 40. We're still operating on a 7-day work schedule to make sure that we can recover this year. Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14B1 is approval of 2016 appropriation of funds in the amount of $253,962.88. This is from the JP Tech Fund, Fund 1242. The Auditor's Office does have a concern. There are proposed purchases for the Constable's Office. However, AG's opinion does allow for technology purchases for the constables as long as the Commissioner's Court approve that it is a benefit. So we will have this, again, this is just the appropriation. We will have action items regarding the approval of the purchases, and we'll have the appropriate language for court to make that determination. So right now I'm just seeking approval of the appropriation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 15, purchasing.
Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department. 15A1, this is presentation of the scoring sheets by the members of court, which are the committee for the purpose of tabulation and ranking of the nominated firms HDR and HOK, which made presentations with Q&A sessions on March 31st and have been invited to present themselves here in the event you have any more questions or answers. So as to proceed with the next phase of the selection process, which would be to rank them and then commence negotiations.
Marty, if I may start, and these are going to be solely my position at this point in time.
Okay.
In light of the presentations on what was presented, I have no major questions. I will have one, but I'll state it after. But my concern is not so much of moving forward at this point. We don't have a fully executed document with the City of Edinburgh at this point in time.
Correct.
It actually guarantees the $30 million. There is a question related to the fiduciary on infrastructure with related drainage and roadway infrastructure around the area. Also, we haven't clearly identified all of those variables. The on-system, we've talked a little bit with the state about it's an on-system road. We want them responsible for the infrastructure. We want them as a partner. What we're trying to do is preserve the amount of money we're appropriating to this brick-and-mortar project.
Absolutely.
Project, $150 million. And if we don't do our due diligence to tap into all these available funds, then we're not going to do our job that we need to do for the taxpayer. So we are proposing to approach the MPO, of which the court has provided a resolution for the MPO to consider. We have met several times with TxDOT to address the issues and bring them in as partners to that project. Drainage infrastructure is critical. It does carry an AH flood zone designation. What that
Correct.
means, if you go back to July, when we received the last rains, we received more near 3 feet of floodwaters in that area. There were more than 100 cars that stalled out at Pan Am. So this isn't just the courthouse. This has to do with the city hall. This has to do with UTRGV. This has to do with a whole lot more. And I really think that we need to uncover all those variables before we design a courthouse outright. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying we shouldn't select. I'm just saying we have a lot of work to do in the next few months to identify all of these partners, tap into those fundings, and then bring together the selected architect and whoever else is going to be part of the project to help move this forward. But I think we have a big duty to the taxpayer to address all these variables that we have no answers to.
Yes, sir.
What I was concerned about the presentations is we still couldn't determine whether it be shallow or deep foundation construction. Well, I think it's obvious it's deep, but again, we're going to rely on the professionals to tell us that. The other part is the composition of how we're working and who's representing who. I think we're on the right track with the attorney, but I think we also have to look at a program manager that's going to look not just at the immediate courthouse square, but all the area all around us to make sure that at the end of the day, we're preserving not just the courthouse, but all the other facilities downtown.
All the
What good is
contributing
courthouse
factors.
elevated if we don't have access to.
Yes, Commissioner.
So I'm proposing to the court that we delay the selection, that we look at everything else, and it's just my position at this point in time to look at all those other variables. The other thing was, my question is, it was the first time I ever was presented that the actual footprint of the building could be moved where we could limit additional costs for the closure of Klausner. So I think out of respect to our partners too with the city of Edinburgh, we have to defer to them if we're going to move the footprint, because it's going to affect the city of Edinburgh too. So there's a lot to do in this interim phase, and so I'm proposing we take no action at this moment, this week, so that we can do our due diligence and look at all these other things we need to address as well.
It's up to the court, Commissioner.
Another
At this
thing
point,
is,
you have no obligation to continue.
Who's going to be doing the drainage, the city or the county?
Well, that's the biggest question. In the last few meetings, I think the city, we don't have it on paper. That's the problem.
Right.
They have deferred the county to be the fiduciary, but we still don't have a fully executed document on this interlocal that states that that's going to be the case. We still don't have a document that stipulates that they are giving us $30 million. Everything is yes, we've met, we've agreed, but we still don't have a fully executed document at this moment.
And
So I think it's-
detailing whose responsibility
Yes.
is whose.
The
Yes.
other issue is that we need to allow, I think we need to allow to identify the exact timetables of the infrastructure around the courthouse, which is 107, which is on System State Road. We need to look at the variables on the drainage. We don't know how advanced the city of Edinburgh is on their drainage plan. If we start constructing, building, designing, and they're 2, 3, 4 years out, we're going to have a facility with no drainage. So we got to get these timetables right. So it's not saying that we're going away, stepping away. It's like we're stepping forward. We got to start identifying these other variables that we haven't fully addressed just at this moment. Plus, we have to have a fully executed document before we start engaging and procuring and spending and all of that. It's just my individual recommendation.
Well, I know the elevation on the drainage east of here is about 5 feet higher, and the one further west about, what, 3 or 4 feet deep?
3 or 4 feet deep. So
where's it going to run to? West?
They're going. Their plan is to take the floodwaters westbound. So it's going to require a complex drainage system to solve the issues of the downtown area. I think we need to treat this project separate, meaning off-site utilities. I think we kept talking about there's off-site utility funds in this project, but we're talking about a scope much grander than this courthouse. So we got to look at all the area. And City of Edinburgh still hasn't clearly said, well, it's $30 million and you take care of off-site and everything else. Well, we still don't know what that variable is. We say it's 8, it could be 10 to 15, it could be $20 million. We still don't know. But it's not going to take us much longer to start uncovering these variables as soon as we start working with the professionals that can help us get to that point.
Yes, sir.
I think we just need a pause in that we needed the schematic. We needed to understand what we needed here in Hidalgo County. Now that we have a schematic, we've put a number to it. We've checked with our financial advisor to see what we could afford. We're somewhat getting comfortable with that number. But now we got to lock in, those certain things, our partners, which are the City of Edinburgh, and of course, we're going to need to partner with the MPO. But most importantly, we're going to need a timeline on what it's going to take to close down Klausner, Business 281. We haven't really had that, and I'm not going to move forward with a best guess. We're going to have to clearly understand the time frame that it takes to go through that process. We've spoken to a couple of people that are in the business of working with the MPO and TxDOT, and it seems like a time frame that's not a year. It's way more than a year. So to move forward at this time, with the design of the courthouse without knowing the timeframes and of course the cost of having to do all of that.
Maybe premature. Yes,
so
sir.
we're a little premature.
And if I may just state for the record, I'm a big advocate for the courthouse. We need it, no doubt about it. But there are some variables that we have to.
Oh, the
do our
need
due
is
diligence
absolutely
for. It's critical. So
correct.
for the
There's no letting this go away.
Yeah.
It's just I fully understand your approach. There are too many unvariables. There's too many conditions that are still needing to be taken into
and
consideration.
I do want to say for the record, it's not something we haven't been working on. The judge has had countless meetings. We've had countless meetings with TxDOT. We've been talking about it. There's been resolutions, as I say, going to the MPO. We've met with the state about Prop 1 monies for the square. There's been a lot of work done, but to fully release at this very moment, this week, I think we have just a little bit of time so that we can synergize all the schedules of road, drain, building. All together has to come together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so comments?
No, I'm good. I think we need
So no action at this time?
Yeah, well, I'm in full support of this movement that we take no action at this time. There are some issues that need to be addressed. We have been talking with the city and some other individuals, including our lawyer, who is trying to finalize that agreement that we're all supposed to execute. So at this time, I don't believe we're going to be able to take an action on the selection of the architect. I know that I have one of the individuals raising his hand. Is that a question that you have, sir? I'm sorry? Yes.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. The topics that you're bringing up are important and critical topics, and I'm glad you are bringing those up. They actually are, those variables are typical parts of projects that we help you arrive at those solutions for. The architect's one of the professionals who can help you coordinate this process. We can assist you with the due diligence that you're talking about. Again, they're typical parts of our projects. And the schedules and issues, each one of those is typically a part of the front end of a project that we can help put together a cohesive plan to help you through that process. We do this all the time.
Well,
so I'm just on to offer that out to you.
And that's the issue. I know both firms are capable of doing that, but there are some parts that we have to do as elected officials, and alongside with the partners, City of Edinburgh, and the MPO board that we sit on, and all of these others to limit the overall cost, which is critical at this moment. So we have to do our job right now before we turn it over for you all to do your job.
Okay. No, I just want to let you know we're available to help, and we have other additional cost savings things that we can bring to you as well.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Judge, County Commissioners. I would concur that if you're uncertain, I think that that's probably prudent to go ahead and talk to some more folks and get some more information. I would concur with Jeff that, certainly your architectural team can certainly help assist you in that process, but you need to be comfortable in how you move forward. So I think that's prudent, and we're perfectly willing to come back at a later time to answer any questions that
I
you
do
may
have a golden question. So, and this is you all, both HOK and HDR, have served in some capacity to get us where we're at today.
Uh-huh.
Are you available to make any, available for questions, guidance, or anything in the interim while we still have not selected based on any of the expertise or any of the work you've done to date?
Absolutely. We remain at your service as we have been for the last 3 years.
So we're going to walk alongside with everybody
Absolutely.
to figure these variables out.
Yes, be very happy to do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So on 15A, 1 and 2, 1, A, B, and C would be no A, B, and B, no action.
Correct.
All right. Going to item C, this is the status of the civil engineering nominated firms with applicable action, including but not limited to the following. I've given you some options here. Consideration of correspondence received from various nominated firms requesting with applicable action either additional time to complete the questionnaire that was sent out.
Marty, I'd like to take no action on that until we can have an agreement in place with the City of Edinburgh to see who's going to do the off-site civil.
Okay, so we leave it as it is, status quo.
Just take no action at this
Okay.
time.
All right.
I think we'll
On
have
all
time.
aspects
We'll
of
have
it.
time to come back and visit these things once we have a little more direction from the city.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, going to item 2, requesting action to clarify regular agenda numbers, items on Commissioners Court on March the 3rd, 21A3, number 53-254, to detail the pre-qualified providers of appraisal and/or review appraisal services pools to reflect, number 1, approved by Commissioners Court on 3/7, appraisal service providers are 5, and that you already have your pools. And item 2 is action to approve and the review appraisal service providers pool, which there are 3, and that's in your backup, as shown on the supporting documentation. I think that because we took it as one item, we didn't separate them, and you did not have the equal number on either side. I misinformed the court on inadvertently on March the 7th. You do have review appraisal providers in a pool, and that's what I need action on A, 1, and 2. Well,
I'm
1 hasn't
sorry.
been approved, it's just 2.
What do we need? What are we doing?
You have 5 members of your appraisal service providers. That is already accepted in the pool. On that day, it was just one title. It said appraisal and or review appraisal services providers. We didn't define that under review appraisal services, you had 3. So I want to bring that for approval to the court to add the review appraisal services to the court. So I need action on 2A2.
That's the paperwork we got in our office, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And this all came about, we found out when one of the precincts said that their current provider was going to expire this month. When I went back to double check, yes, you do have review appraisal service providers. So now you have a pool of those. Item B would be requesting rescission of regular agenda item 54019 on Commissioners Court on April the 5th, seeking authority to advertise to establish the pool for the review appraisal services. We don't need it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On B1, Precinct 1, A is acceptance and approval of professional engineering services contract number 149 with TEDSI Infrastructure Group, job-specific Colonia Noreste paving and drainage improvements, approved by Commissioners Court for negotiations on March the 22nd with compliance to 1295 and/or 23.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, acceptance and approval of work authorization 1 through contract number 149 and pursuant to the above aforementioned line item for TEDSI Infrastructure Group in the amount of $40,815 for the provision of professional engineering services for the job-specific Colonia Noreste paving and drainage improvements.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is for Precinct 2. Item 1 is acceptance and approval to execute a final form of professional engineering services agreement subject to legal counsel's final review with LNG Consulting Engineers, on-call services for road and bridge, CIP, and other projects in general, and it's approved for negotiations on April the 5th, subject to compliance with 23 and 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2A, acceptance and approval to execute a final form of professional engineering services agreement, subject to final review and acceptance by legal counsel with LNG Engineers for on-call geotechnical, construction materials testing, and inspection services for road and bridge, CIP, and other projects in general, and as approved for negotiations on April 5th, subject to also to compliance with 1295 and/or 23.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Acceptance and approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $43,457.86 as submitted by the project engineer, LNG Consulting, and this is for the construction materials testing for Yuma Avenue Extension Project. This is all contingent on item 1 or A being completely complied with.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Work authorization 2 with an estimated cost of $14,045.70 as submitted also by LNG, and this is for Palmer Pavilion improvements, also contingent on A being fully complied with.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3, this is requesting approval of supplemental agreement for LNG engineering contract number 097, resulting in additional environmental services needed for the environmental clearance with an estimated increase of $109,699.60 for the services under work authorization 4 for Nolana Loop.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D is precinct 4. A is acceptance. Are you going to do something?
Judge and Commissioners, I'm going to request that we take no action on this item because the vendor is kind of hesitating to meet his insurance obligations for the project, saying he doesn't have certain insurance, and now saying he might not want to get certain insurance. So we're going to take no action on this item at this time.
Both A and B?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, the other one is the manhole covers. Are you going to go on that?
Oh, no, never mind.
Item B, just item A is no action. Item B is requesting authority to advertise with approval of the request for bids, front-end documents, which are specifications as developed and drafted through project engineer Lefevre, San Carlos CRC, and Sunflower Park. This is for offsite turnkey manhole covers and with installation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
E is with WIC, acceptance and approval to enter into an affiliation and program agreement for clinical experience between Hidalgo County Health and Human Services and WIC program and South Texas College.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Under open forum, did anybody sign up?
Yes, Judge, Commissioners, we have 6 presenters, but I believe 3 have already been addressed, but I will verify in a second, or shortly. Our first presenter is Ms. Opal Billman.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
In a divorce action, I have asked the court for many years to explain what they did. For a settlement of my community property, I have received nothing. Neither did Joe. On the frontage of Sherry Road, on land still owned by Joe as his estate and me as my community property, commercial buildings have been built. These buildings do not belong there. Please remove them. Information received by me just recently claim our debt-free community property has been sold through a hedge fund and mortgaged through 2 local banks by 2 couples. The law is that people cannot build on land that they do not own. Surely the banks and these 2 couples know that. So what are these buildings doing on our private property? Also, the city of Mission is claiming to have bought a strip of our land from Sherry Road to Glasscock Road for a street. Joe and I sold none of our land. For it to be sold by the court requires a public auction, a highest bidder, and is no an option. The city claims they are going to tenaciously hang on to our private land on North John H. Sherry as infrastructure for new apartments built on South Sherry Road. No law allows them to enlarge, improve, and enrich their business by including land that belongs to us as their street. Conclusion of this divorce action by dismissal from the court's docket invalidates all extracurricular activities being used for the purpose of absorbing our debt-free community property. Because Joe died, the law dictates the case must be dismissed. Both the Constitution and Texas state law prohibit the takeover of privately owned property. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presenter
is Mr. Jesse Osuna.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I just wanted to give you all an update on the policy committee meeting that I went to last week for the Conference of Urban Counties that we sit on. A couple of heated topics that are going to be hitting the county. Actually, I think there's 38 members of us. The property tax relief subcommittee right now. I guess there's a political fight going on right now within the Republicans and Democrats at the state level. They've been going around the state trying to talk about a possible new tax relief that's going to, in a way, mandate counties to either lower property tax rates or freeze appraisal evaluations. So that in itself, they kind of even talking about the rollback rate going from 8% to 4%. So we kind of have to look at that, and I'll work with Bobby and Michael to kind of look at what that impact will be to our county. I know we're set to probably lose some money, but it's very premature right now until the legislative session goes into effect. Another big topic that was talked about that's also very initial is the State Transportation Commission is looking at the possibility of removing toll roads around the state. So, it's one of those things. These are state-owned toll roads only, not toll road authorities, which are started by certain people. But anything that has a state impact or it's overseen by the state, like I said, the figure right now is about $38 billion that it will cost the state to overtake toll roads and to maintain and to make them freestanding roads. It's very premature, and I advise your staff to take a look at that. Another thing, we are losing money on our with our sheriff's office as far as our I believe it's the alien. Where is that note? The reimbursement for the state alien. Where did I leave that? Oh yeah, support federal funding for local communities to help cover operational costs for holding undocumented criminal aliens in the criminal justice system, and the cost to house them prior to transfer to ICE. Right now, our reimbursement for that has been going down on a yearly basis, and it really is putting our budget in a deficit. So they are trying to ask the federal government to up their ante on that reimbursement. A couple of other things, but the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles also, with their fees that we collect here, now they want to reallocate some of that back to the state, which again will lose some money here at the local level. So all of this is they're heated topics that are about to hit us coming this legislative session. So I'll continue to keep an eye on it and update you as they come available. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, even though I know you can't respond, so never mind.
Thank you.
Next.
Go ahead, Bob.
Thank you, Judge. Our next presenter is Doc Adams.
Good day, greetings, and I appreciate the effort, Commissioner Cuellar, being made to repair the roads in my immediate area. After much effort and controversy, my neighbors were able to get the engineers to come out and explain exactly what the plan is for the road repair and the drainage alteration along Old La Blanca Road, beginning at 10 Mile Road to the intersection at Sioux Road. The plans, the excavation puzzled me just a bit because there was a huge ditch across the street that was first dug out, excavated, and then dirt was put in dirt was put in to cover it up first, and then they packed it all down, and then they went back and then they excavated it again and put big tubes in there for drainage, which was a puzzlement. Let's see. We had a ditch. Now we're going to dig a ditch across the road. We filled the ditch over there. We packed it down, and then we dug it back out. And it seemed like a real redundancy and effort. Now, the open ditch in front of my 189 feet along that avenue is potentially a health hazard because of the presence of the mosquitoes that carry the new dangerous virus, Zika virus. And mosquitoes do love little shallow ditches, and all the water coming from 10 Mile Road is in tubes until it gets to my property, and then there's an open ditch. I'm confused. Anyway, the plans to widen the roads in that immediate area, I believe a couple of years ago I gave you the research that the Germans did on the widening of secondary roads in communities, that it increased the tendency for speeding, which we already have. We have people going up and down that road between 65 and 70 miles an hour, some of them, even with the potholes. I don't know, since I drive very, very slowly, why it is that I now have broken motor mounts on one of my vehicles. But you're going to fix it. I appreciate that. But that easement of 10 feet that for the county and the right-of-way for the irrigation district beyond that, close to the property boundaries, no payment has ever been received for either the easement or the right-of-way, and that actually comes out to more than a third of an acre. And according to my ancient reading of the law, you're not supposed to take more than a quarter of an acre, and it doesn't belong to the county unless they pay for it. But I do appreciate the effort that is going on. Thank you.
We had Jonathan, Volunteer South Texas. That was earlier, right? And Maggie Peña, Volunteer South Texas. That was earlier. And Ms. Zuniga, United Way. So, okay, that concludes our open forum.
All right, at this time then, pursuant of 551071 and 072, I would need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're going to be in executive session. Session. Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Back in open session, item 19A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there is no action to be taken today. Item 19B, pending potential litigation, there is no action. Item 19C, under potential litigation, there is no action, we're just going to proceed as directed. Item 19D, Teresa Barrera et al. Versus Hidalgo County, Texas, and Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1. There's no action to be taken today. Item E, Hidalgo County versus El Valle LLC et al. Judge Commissioners, I'd like for the court to take action to assign this claim, Hidalgo County versus El Valle LLC et al. to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office at the District Attorney's Office for subrogation purposes and to file suit if necessary.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item F, claim of Emilio Rincon. Judge Commissioners, I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $574.26.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item G, claim of Jesus Garza. And Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $66.33.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And before we adjourn, Judge Commissioners, item 18, A and B, there is no action to be taken today.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Our next meeting is when?
Are we going to have one next week or? Okay, yes, our next Commissioners Court, because of our, back on our regular schedule, is next week, the 19th.
The 19th, Tuesday. Same time.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.